Yo, welcome to the Horns Up podcast, your home for all things Los Angeles Rams. As always, I'm your host, Johan, and this is my co-host, Rune. You can find us on our socials at Rams Nation and Puka Nakua Lover 12. From breaking news to game breakdowns, hot takes to honest fan reactions, we're here to bring you the highs, the lows, and everything in between. If you bleed blue and gold, this is your spot. All right, Rune, here we are back for another episode. Very excited. We have some type of football back. It isn't Rams football yet, but it's pretty close. College football, as you see, we're repping. I got the UCLA right here. Go Bruins, fours up. We got over here Rooney. We got
Go Knowles, go Knowles.
FSU. Wow, in California, man. I don't know what that's about.
But the reason I liked Florida State is I really was kind of just looking for a college team to like because I already liked USC because of Caleb Williams and the fact that they're in California. But I mean, I was looking at like another college team to rep, and I saw that both Cam Akers and Jalen Ramsey were from Florida State, and I was like, you know what, I'll like them. And then, funny enough, two guys you may not know them. Their names are Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. They got drafted the Rams, and what do you know? They're both from Florida State, so that worked perfectly in my favor.
Yeah, the Rams have a little connection to Florida State. They've got a couple players from there in the past. All of them have been pretty quality players in their time here. So, hey, I don't mind more Florida State players on this Rams team. I like Verse. I like the Kingpin. So, but yeah. I think we need a couple more UCLA players. We got Quentin Lake in the secondary, but the Bruins, there should be more of them on this roster, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Rams, our team. Whose house? It says it right there on top of your head.
Rams house.
Yes, sir. All right, well, we got a couple things to talk about today. We have a couple segments to get into, a lot of fun things to talk about from transactions, the practice squad, some of our unis that just released. So let's get into it all. We'll start off with the transactions and we'll be right back at you. All right, Rune. We had a lot of transactions go on with this team, much more than we wanted to. I think it kind of accounts to how much depth the Rams have on this team. I mean, they had the most players claimed off waivers, four players, which was a ton. I know we released Brennan Jackson, and then some of the other guys went on waivers, but still I think five or six players from this roster got picked up. What do you think about that? What does that say about the Rams?
You know, I have been saying that this is a tough 53 to make, and I mean it is. I mean this team is I would probably say it's more complete than not complete, which I think is probably a common observation. But
Right.
I mean, we're set at receiver. We pretty much knew the order of the wide receivers for the most part. There was a toss up. I actually thought that Brendan Presley had a better chance of making the roster than Mumpfield, but I mean, I was proven wrong. Mumpfield stayed, which I like Mumpfield. I was really disappointed by his play in preseason, but I mean it's preseason. Preseason's where you work the kinks out.
Yeah, Mumfield, he was very disappointing. He's kind of underwhelming in this preseason. He did a good job of getting separation, but I feel like the plays really just weren't there for him. And Brendan Presley, I'm really surprised that he actually made the practice squad, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, it is just such a tough 53 to crack, as you said. There's just depth everywhere at every single position from offense, defense. I mean, even special teams. There's just no room in this roster unless you're really a star. So that's why we saw so many players kind of leave this team. We'll go over some of them quickly. Brennan Jackson goes to the Raiders, which, I mean, I kind of expected him to get picked up. He showed some flashes in the preseason and in college. He was pretty productive and there was just no room for him. I mean, the Rams like Nick Hampton more than him, so the Raiders they get a nice sleeper depth piece there. Maybe he can grow into something. And then Charles Woods, which I really wasn't expecting. Charles Woods, he was on the team last year. He was kind of up and down. He's a decent corner, but I didn't think that he was really that, stood out that much to get picked up. And then obviously the big one,
Yeah.
the big one. You want to take this over?
Yep. I'm sitting there. We're actually we were kind of just talking independently on like a FaceTime. We were going over who we think's gonna make the 53. We get off FaceTime, and he texts me and he's like, "Yo, Pooh Paul could get cut," and I'm like, "What?" And then I'm checking all this stuff out, and then there's all these rumors. Then 53 man roster comes out, and Pooh Paul's cut, and I never have I questioned a roster move more than I have right there. I had never I hadn't heard anything negative about Pooh. I haven't heard anything like he's slow, he's all this, he's not good in coverage. No, I heard nothing. There was no indicators that he potentially couldn't make the roster. Uh, I think the only indicator was that Troy Reader didn't play a single lick of preseason, but I feel like Troy Reader should have played some preseason. I think if you had to ask me and about 90% of the fan base currently, I think we would all say that preseason is where Troy Reader belongs. And just a really weird decision to me. At the end of the day, football's a business. Sean McVay and Les Snead, they do it better than anybody. So at the end of the day, they're gonna do what's best. What the fuck? They're gonna do what's best for business, and they're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna win football games. I mean, that I had to take my anger out right there, but I mean, yeah, they're gonna figure out what's going on, and hopefully this linebacker core is a step up from last year. That's my only hope.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in McVay and Les Snead. I trust them. They haven't really let us down ever since they've taken over. They've done a really great job. But there's just a couple moves. I don't even know if there's one every year, but there's a move sometimes that happens in the Rams organization that makes you just raise your eyebrow. Last year, I feel like it might have been the Tre'Davious White signing. That one, I mean, now looking back at it, that was horrible. And then right now, I mean, Pooh Paul, this is a guy you drafted. You spent a fifth round pick on. And let's remember, fifth round pick is where, the Rams got Puka. I mean, they've gotten a lot of stars in later rounds. And the fact that you're just cutting this guy when Troy Reader's still making this roster, I mean,
I
and the Rams came out and said that this decision was because he couldn't really perform on special teams, but I think that's just BS, man. He's talented. I mean, when you watch Pooh Paul and then when you watch Troy Reader side by side, I mean, you could just tell by doing the eye test who like who you would want. So yeah, I mean, I'm really frustrated with the Rams on that pick. I agree with them on 95% of their decisions, but this is the small 5% that really I just flat out disagree with.
Yeah, and another move that I am just completely pissed off with include as well I can't talk right now. I'm just so pissed. Opening old wounds here. Another move that I myself am pissed at, as well as Jake Ellenbogen. Don't know if any of you know him. Go check him out. He makes really good stuff. But we're both just completely pissed off at the Willie Lampkin
Lampkin, yeah.
release, and a guy like him going to the best O line in the league just kind of proves what we missed out on. The Eagles knew his worth, and they saw that we released him, and they were like, you know what, he's a steal. Let's go grab him. And this is another move. I don't really see being the right move. It may have just been preseason, but I was already thinking that Willie Lampkin was looking like a step above Bo Limmer. I remember in the playoffs, Bo Limmer had 3 penalties in one drive. I think they were all in a row, and Willie Lampkin was just a pancake machine. So I mean, Willie's the guy I wanted. I feel like you could have traded Bo Limmer, but I mean, yeah, I just have no thoughts. I have no thoughts.
That's another move. I mean, I think I'm more mad about the Pooh Paul one, but still, it sucks to lose Willie Lampkin, especially the way you did to the Eagles. But yeah, I mean, just horrible. And then the last move, I forgot about this one actually, was Darion Kendrick going to the Seahawks. that one I'm not too mad about. I mean,
They can have him. He's a penalty magnet. I all respect the Darion, but I mean he's a penalty magnet. That
yeah, Darion Kendrick, he made some plays here and there, but overall, I mean, he just really wasn't benefiting this team. And I think there was guys that made the roster that deserved the spot over him. So yeah, those were all of our transactions. To sum it up, we got Brennan Jackson going to the Raiders. We have Charles Woods going to the Patriots, Willie Lampkin heading to the Eagles, Darion Kendrick on his way to the Seahawks, and then lastly, Pooh Paul joining him up in Seattle. Overall, I mean, I'm pretty upset. You can't keep everyone though. You have to understand that it's a business at the end of the day. So there's nothing we can do. Best of luck to all these guys. Just that poop hole one really hurts. But next, let's go ahead and get into the practice squad. There are a lot of hidden gems on this practice squad. So let's get into it. All right, so we got the practice squad right here. We got 15 guys on the practice squad right now. We have one more spot open, which is a little interesting. Maybe McVay, is waiting for another player to add, or he's waiting for someone to come off of IR. So we will see. But let's go over this practice squad real quick. We'll go ahead and name them. We got AJ Arcuri, Wyatt Bowles, True Edwards, AJ Green, Jack Heflin, Tanner Ingle. Cam Lampkin, Dylan McMahon, Jamil Muhammad, Elias Neal, Bill Norton, Brennan Presley, Ronnie Rivers, Cody Schrader, and Nate Valcarel. That was a mouthful. But yeah,
yeah.
15 players on this practice squad. Let's go ahead and break them down by position. So in the running back room, we got Cody Schrader and Ronnie Rivers because obviously we didn't keep a QB since we have three on the roster. Maybe we'll bring in Dresser Wynn for that last spot. You have to wait and see, but Ronnie Rivers, I honestly didn't think he was going to get brought back. I thought there was a chance that the Rams finally let him go. But I mean, you can't complain with him. He's a guy who's gotten real reps in games. So, if one thing happens and we need a running back, I mean, Ronnie Rivers can come in and just be a decent backup. Cody Schrader as well. A lot of people were surprised that he came back to this practice squad. And I know he performed well in the first game, maybe the second one as well, but I think once it hit that third game and his production kind of declined, I wasn't expecting him to come back. And then for our wide receivers, we have True Edwards and we have your boy Brennan Presley. Were you shocked that Brennan Presley cleared waivers?
Um, a little bit, but I feel like he put on some tape, but I just don't think people are willing to go out and kind of kind of take a chance on him. And you know who else I'm excited about? True Edwards. True Edwards almost single handedly won us that Cleveland game. Sadly, phantom PI call in
But
that defensive drive. But
True Edwards is a playmaker, man. He has
yeah, he is.
He has the chance to, if he gets opportunities, he has the chance to really make some highlight worthy plays out there. I'm happy with both of them. Presley, I'm really excited about. I feel like he could be a good, wide receiver 5 or 6 on this team. If because you know how injuries get on this
Yeah,
wide receiver room. So Brendan Presley, I'm surprised they kept. Let's go on to the O line. They kept three O linemen. AJ Arcuri. I'm not a big fan on Arcuri. I rather
me
would have had
neither.
Lampkin over him. I mean, he's okay. I mean, every time we've seen him get in, he's just giving up sacks, and he's not that good. Wyatt Bowles, though, this is a different conversation. I think this is his first year with the team. This was his first preseason. He looked pretty decent with us, man. I didn't see. I didn't see him giving up many sacks or pressures at all. Pretty efficient in the run game, which is, somewhere where the Rams kind of need to beef up. I feel like their O-line is more of pass protectors instead of, nasty guys who can get out there in the run game. And then lastly, Dylan McMahon. Eh, I mean, I'm okay with it. Again, I rather would have had Willie Lampkin
Yeah,
than the other two guys, Dylan McMahon and also AGR Curry. Wyatt Bowles I'm happy with, but it's all right. And then we'll go on to the D tackles. They went ahead and kept Jack Heflin, which I really like. Jack Heflin, he looked promising. He's showing some progress. Bill Norton, um, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not
he had a
really,
sack, but I mean, yeah, it's just depth.
yeah, just depth, not really anything there. Let's see. Linebackers, we got Elias Neal, which I love. I'm a big Elias Neal fan. I think he can get elevated to the roster and play some snaps right away. And Jamil Muhammad at outside linebacker, which I really like. He has that dog mentality. Little undersized, but I'm a big fan of him. And then in the DB room, Cam Lampkin, love to see it. Tanner Ingle, great to keep him. And then
Oh
Nate
yeah.
Walker, who also showed out. I mean, he's pretty decent. He looked like he's a pretty secure second level tackler. So I'm pretty happy with the practice squad. Is there anyone here that you're surprised made it, or anyone that you're disappointed made it?
Um, there's nobody I'm really disappointed to make the practice squad. The practice squad's the practice squad. I think AJR Curry, as you said, I'm not the biggest fan of him either. Um, I'm really glad that Tanner Ingle made it. The human missile. He's
Yeah.
great, man. I've heard people talk about his coverage, say he's only a hard hitter, but I mean, I didn't see any weak coverage from him personally.
Tanner Ingle, he looked great. I mean, whether he was, making big hits or just playing coverage overall, I mean, he was pretty good.
Yeah, and then I'm glad, as we just talked about, I'm glad Brandon Presley and True Edwards they both made it. They're both really good. They're going to be great on the practice squad. Really happy Elias Neal and Jamil Muhammad. I like them both. I like Muhammad. Perfect timing.
Oh, and let's not forget AJ Green. He also made it as a veteran.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, I had him making the 53. I think you
Yeah.
did too, yeah.
Yeah, I did too. So, yeah, overall, pretty good practice squad. There's a couple guys in here who can get elevated to the roster and play in a snap if they need to. But there also is a couple guys here that, maybe they need the practice squad and they can make a difference in the team next year. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with the practice squad, but let's go ahead and get into our next topic, which is going to be our rivalry jerseys. Let's get into it. All right, we got our rivalry jerseys that just came out this past week. There's been a lot of controversy about them. There still is right now. There's a lot of different opinions, thoughts. Um, there's just a ton to get into. First off, let's just talk about the big thing. Are you a fan of the black or the dark, 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 dark blue?
I'm gonna stand on this, and a lot of people. I mean, you may disagree with me. You might agree with me. I think they're great. I think that there's something new. They're not boring. They're not those pretty mid-bone jerseys. They're great. And you're not. They're. We're gonna wear them one time. So if you see them on the field, you don't got to worry about seeing them again.
Yeah,
So, but I think they're great. They're really unique. Just have some character. The helmet's sick. The whole horn, the full horn that kind of wraps around.
I love
I
that.
liked that little touch. If I had to change one thing, I wouldn't change the blue on the shoulders. That's what a lot of people wanted to change, but I would change the color of the numbers. I don't know why the numbers are white, but
Does it make
still doesn't change my opinion. They're really good. I'm not saying they're the best rivalry uniform, but they're also not the worst in my opinion. They're great.
Yeah, there are some rivalry jerseys that I think are a little better. I would put the Rams maybe like three or four, but overall, I like the jerseys. It goes good with the helmet since the helmet's black. I think kind of brings everything together. A ton of people are very upset that the black or dark blue that they're saying, but I'm a fan of it. I think it looks good. It looks kind of modern, or like kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but. It just looks good overall. I like the blue on the side. And yeah, the horn gives it a nice touch on the sleeves. I think the helmet brings the look together with the black and the yellow horns. But yeah, I'm excited. Is there any other rivalry jersey that you saw and you're like, man, that's nice?
Um, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Seahawks and the 49er ones both suit them
You like the
really
Seahawks
well.
ones?
I do. They're when you look at them when you look at them, I people say they're knockoff Oregon uniforms.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I say that, but in a good way. I think if they made the number navy instead of green, I feel like they'd be almost a 10 out of 10. The helmet, it's kind of a weird color. I like the helmet though. I mean, it's kind of cool. And the 49er ones,
Those are
they're
nice.
just solid. They're pretty nice, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wish that they were. That I wish their real rivalry jerseys were those leaked ones. That have you seen those leaked ones that have been going around with the rainbow ones?
Oh yeah, I took a screenshot and sent it to my
Yeah.
parents. My parents are Niner fans, but
Yeah,
no, those should be the real ones, man.
I think we probably have this. I don't want to say it, but I think we have the second best ones in the division. I think
In the division, I will.
probably Niners, Rams,
I want
Seahawks.
to say I want to say third. I like the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks the most in the division and 49. I I think the Cardinals ones are severely overrated. There's nothing wrong with them. I would like them if I'm a Cardinal fan, but they're very overrated. Everybody's calling them the tortilla uniforms, and I mean I get that, but um, yeah, I feel like all these rivalry uniforms were a hit. I don't think there's a single bad one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with all the rivalry uniforms. Kind of gets me excited for the rest of them that are to come out in the next couple of years. This is a great addition to the league. I think that it could be a good hit because everyone loves jerseys and you want to get the newest ones. So I'm definitely planning on getting one. Maybe we'll do a giveaway in the future, if you guys are feeling it like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into our last segment, which is going to be the 53-man prediction or reaction. We'll be right back. All right, we got the 53-man reaction, official 53-man. We've been waiting on it for a minute. I feel like the preseason kind of felt long since I started covering it this year. The preseason felt those 3 weeks. I mean, it felt like forever. But we finally got our 53-man roster, so let's get into it. There's not too many surprises, but there are a couple things that I want to touch on here with you. Quarterbacks, I mean, I'm totally fine with who we got. Stafford, Jimmy G, Stetson. No one on the practice squad, so we're just rolling with three. And then running backs, the big three, we got Kyron, Blake Corum, and Jarquez Hunter. So far, we're perfect on our prediction. Me and Rune made a prediction last week on the roster. Let's see how good we do. At wide receivers, we got Puka, W. Devontae, he was gonna make it. Tutu, Jordan Whittington, Kanata Mumfield, Xavier Smith. Everything looks pretty solid there. The only conversation that could have been had maybe was Brennan Presley making it over Kanata Mumfield. But the Rams invested a draft pick in him, so I felt like they kind of had to keep him.
We invested a draft pick in Chris Paul Jr.
Yeah,
too, but
also
I
Chris
mean,
Paul.
I
So
I, I, gue- I guess it's fuck him. I guess so. Let's
I'm
go
still
on.
mad that he went to the Seahawks.
No, yeah, I'm pissed.
Anyways, tight ends, we kept four as we predicted. Tyler Higbee, Colby Parkinson, Davis Allen, and Terrence Ferguson. Finally got it right. Davis Allen. Yeah, tight ends, I'm happy. We have a lot of depth there. I think they're going to be running a lot of 12 personnel, so maybe we'll be seeing more out of these tight ends. Offensive line, there's a little bit of a conversation to be had here, but let's get into it. Tackles, we got Alaric Jackson, we got Rob Havenstein, DJ Humphries, David Quessenberry, and they kept a fifth tackle in Warren McClendon Jr., which a couple people had KT Leviston making the roster over him. Maybe keeping another guard instead of Warren McClendon, which is what we had. We had Wyatt Bowles making it, I think, over McClendon. But McClendon, I mean, I guess they're big believers in him. He's been with the organization for a minute, so I'm pretty happy with that. Any concerns so far with the offense?
I don't know why we kept 10 offensive linemen in total. I feel like we could have.
Yeah.
We could have scrapped McClendon, but I mean, that's a guy they're high on. So I mean, I see them keeping him.
Yeah, so they got a backup for each position, and I maybe they'll swing McClendon to guard if he needs to get in, because they only kept one backup guard in Dedich. But oh, sorry, let's go over the rest of the O-line, which we didn't even get into. Speaking of guards, we got Justin Dedich, Steve Avila, and Kevin Dotson. No surprise there. Dedich, he can step in and play for either one of them if need be. And then center, we got Coleman Shelton and Bo Limmer. There was a little bit of a conversation to be had for who's the starter, but I think Coleman Shelton's going to take over. I think the Rams maybe wanted to pick up a center or draft one, but it's just not that common to find a good center. And I feel like Coleman Shelton was kind of their backup plan. Don't you agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the familiarity. But hey, no complaints. I mean, they were decent last year as long as Steve Avila can get back to where he was and Alaric Jackson can stay healthy. I think this offensive line's due for a big year. All right, defensive linemen. We kept seven, which is definitely the big shocker on this team.
Yeah,
Seven defensive linemen is a lot.
I don't agree with seven D linemen. Let's just go. So we kept, of course, the obvious ones. You kept Kobe Turner. You
Yeah.
kept Poona Ford, Braden Fisk. Who
Tyler
else was there?
Davis,
Yep, Tyler Davis. Tyler Davis is a guy I'm particularly high on. I'm glad he made it.
Bro
Um,
Murchison.
and then you kept both Desjuan Johnson, who I really like Desjuan Johnson. I'm so glad he made it. You kept Laurel Murchison. I think you could have either cut either Desjuan or Laurel, but I mean I like Laurel Murchison. Too many D linemen, and then you kept
Ty Hamilton.
yeah you kept Ty Hamilton. Ty Hamilton. I was not sure why we drafted him when we drafted him, but must be good.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a statement. Keeping seven D linemen, that means that this Rams defensive front is going to be rotating a ton. So all of these guys are probably going to be getting reps, some more than others. But yeah, seven defensive linemen, I'm not too high on that. I mean, I trust McVay at the end of the day, but still, that is a lot of defensive linemen to keep, especially when you're only keeping four outside linebackers, which are Jared Verse, Byron Young, Nick Hampton, and Josiah Stewart. I feel like three of those guys are really set in stone. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Josiah Stewart. Those three guys were going to be there. Their position was locked. They can all make a difference. Nick Hampton still needs to show a little more. I haven't seen too much out of him, but I'm guessing the Rams are really high on him since they cut Brennan Jackson, which I had taken his spot.
Yeah,
And then let's get into the inside linebackers here. Only keeping four. I thought they should have kept five and, add Poop Hall to this roster, but
yeah,
keeping forward, Nate Lamon, Omar Spades, Troy Reader, and Sean Dolak. I like that Sean Dolak made this roster. Um, but yeah, still, I'm really upset not keeping Paul.
yeah.
Hopefully, Nate Lyman can certify himself as a linebacker one. And as long as Omar Spades can keep progressing in his career, I think that this linebacker room has a ton of room to grow. They can only go up. I mean, if you're a real Rams fan and you've been watching this defense, this linebacking core has been weak for years. And I'm sick
Yeah.
of it. So
Corners. I'm really high on the corners. You got your guys are gonna be you got Akella Witherspoon, you got Kobe Durant, uh, you got let's see, you got
Manuel
Darius
Forbes,
Williams, you got uh Emmanuel Forbes who switched to
Josh
number one. That's
Wallace.
kind of cool. And then you have you have Josh Wallace who I didn't have making the roster, but I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong.
Yeah, only keeping five corners, so that means that they're gonna put a lot of trust in these corners and the safeties as well. So hopefully they can hold it down. I heard Emmanuel Forbes is going to be starting, so it's going to be a big opportunity for him. We need to see a lot from this corner room this year if we want to be Super Bowl contenders. Kello, he needs to step it up. Forbes, he needs to break out. I feel like a lot of people just feel like Forbes is going to be great, but he's been horrible if you look at his stats. He needs to
Yeah,
break out this year, like do or die. Kobe Durant, he's gotten better every year, but he needs to just get more playing time. He needs to have his own role where he can really just break out and have his whole season. But you have Darius Williams there too, which he's kind of like the odd man out.
yeah. You want to get into the safeties to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up with the safeties. We got Cam Curl, Cam Kinchins, Quentin Lake, and Jalen McCullough. No surprises there. I was thinking they were going to keep five safeties, but only rolling with four here. But it's okay because you have a guy in Quentin Lake who plays the star, and then you have guys like Cam Curl and Cam Kinchins who could play deep in the secondary. Both of them are pretty good ball hawks, and then Jalen McCullough can rotate anywhere. So I'm happy with that. I think the roster is good. There are a couple places where I wish they, went different ways, such as Poop Hall, Willie Lampkin, but overall, you can't complain. We went over a lot in this video. I feel like we've been talking for a while. We went over all the transactions, the rivalry jerseys, the practice squad 53 man. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us today. I had a lot of fun making this episode with you. There was a lot to talk about. And we have a lot to talk about next week with the Rams going against the Texans, which we'll get into at another time. But as always, Thank you for watching. Make sure to check us out on all of our different platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, make sure to check us out. And as always, keep your horns up. As always, I'm your host, Johan, co-host Rune.
Yep.
Podcast. We'll catch you guys at another time. See ya.